Hey guys, it's Hyper Vega with Win Loss Gaming, and this is podcast episode 6. And I am not Dude It's VD. You're not Dude It's VD.
Well, I'm not Dude It's VD.
You're not Dude It's VD.
No, this is Vicious, actually.
And I'm Moonlight Devil 24, obviously.
And Dude It's VD is driving Miss Daisy this weekend.
Is he?
Yeah. He's his
Is
parents.
he Morgan Freeman?
He can only wish. Dude, if I could be Morgan Freeman, I would totally make that jump.
Well, I don't think any of us are black enough to be Morgan Freeman.
Well, I think if like Morgan Freeman walked into a club, you know, he would be like surrounded by women like all the time, because he's that cool.
Just like he was surrounded by men in Shawshank.
Oh, don't make fun of Shawshank.
I'm not. I like Shawshank.
Shawshank.
No,
it's considered the
VD's
greatest movie of all time.
He's got family in this weekend. I think his parents are in town this weekend, so he's skipping out on this week's podcast. But for good reasons. Hope you're having fun. Tell your parents your mama said hey. She doesn't know me.
Yeah,
she probably never wants to know me, but hey, how you doing?
Don't get on roller skates.
Don't get on roller skates. You end up falling on a sandwich in your back pocket like Moonlight. So, you know, we didn't tout that last week was our 5th episode. We should have last week. We should have been like, hey,
it should have been like an anniversary.
Well, not necessarily anniversary.
Well, sorry, not anniversary. I'm sorry.
This isn't a bicentennial.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 5 podcasts. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That means we've done this for over a month.
We really have. And we keep on going with it, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I think once we get up to, like, episode 100, I think we're going to actually, like, what we'll do is we'll put a professional band on our intro to celebrate instead of the local independent talent that we put on.
I'll actually drink wine with you.
Oh, Lord. You're living dangerously now, sir.
I know. I said ass last week.
Yeah, you said it. You just said it now again.
Yeah, I did.
Dude, whoa. You are living on the edge, sir.
We living on the edge.
There you go. We're gonna play "Living on the Edge" by Aerosmith.
There you go.
For our intro, or "Closer to the Edge" by 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, I like that song.
Or we'll play some U2 because their guitar's player, his name is Edge.
Edge, yeah.
Or is it The Edge?
The Edge.
Do you call him Mr.
That's
The
Edge, and then you have Edge, who was a wrestler.
Okay, but do we call him Mr. The Edge?
Well,
or just
maybe.
Mr. Edge?
Mr. Edge.
Or you just say, "Hey yo."
Mr. Ed.
Hey yo.
Yo.
All right. Oh yeah, we're like 3 weeks away from Carpe Noctem Remix, aren't we?
Yep.
June 15th.
Exactly.
9 p.m. Extreme Play, Carolina Mall in Concord, North Carolina. It's actually turning out to be a pretty large size this time around. I mean, you know, we had a good turnout last time. We had some really good players show up. But I mean, you know, we're getting a lot of good feedback about it this time. People are actually more so than last time pretty excited about it, which is making us excited about it. I can't even talk.
I'm super excited to see the Halo Reach community.
That's what
I want to see
too.
You know, cool things happen on Reach.
But I'm ready to see the Tekken 6 players as well, because that's a very skilled game as far as to get good at.
Yeah.
I totally whooped your ass last week, just once.
I don't know. I was doing pretty well.
You did until you ran into my Dragonoff.
Dragonoff.
And his Dragonoff, and everybody else's Dragonoff.
Didn't I beat you? I beat you the first round, and then you won the match.
See, I was using Eddie Gordo a lot, and everybody was like,
yeah, we're banning Eddie Gordo next time we play.
Are you banning Eddie Gordo?
We're banning
Eddie
Gordo.
If we're banning Eddie, we have to ban Christy as well.
Yeah, you have to ban Christy as well.
Christy's
Montiero.
the same capoeira style.
Because she learned from Eddie.
Well, she's stupid. Anyways.
That is stupid. Okay, yeah, June 15th, 9 p.m., Carolina Mall, Extreme Play. We want to see you guys out there. We want to see how good you guys are. I'm calling everybody's bluff now that you're not good.
Oh.
I actually want to see somebody come and prove how good they are. And you guys can even brag about it. It really doesn't matter. You earn your bragging rights, that's perfectly fine. Here we go.
Whoever wins can sit in on future podcasts with us.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
absolutely.
Go. There you go. We'll have them featured in a podcast. So, okay, there you are. Announcement time. We're going to go ahead and we're going to up the ante, the pots for the winners. You know, you win the cash prize, of course, and bragging rights, and of course we'll, you know, do our normal little interviews that we do with our YouTube videos, and then of course we'll actually have you sit in and feature you in a podcast in the future after the tournament.
Definitely.
You get to come to the headquarters, which we never let people know where that is. We have to actually put cloths over your head, and
tie your hands and
We're
bind
gonna,
you.
we're gonna pick you up in a van.
Yeah,
no
we're
windows.
You never know what's gonna happen, but when you hear Metallica, Master of Puppets coming around the corner, you know it's us.
Really? I was gonna.
I was making reference from old school because
I was
that's
gonna
the way
say
they kidnap
maybe
people.
Perry Mason from Ozzy Osbourne.
That works.
Oh, I don't see Ozzy kidnapping anybody. News this week.
News.
I'm going to jump into one thing that's bothering me out of everything. And it's the one thing that I have been bitching about for the past, 2-3 weeks now?
Yep.
Blizzard and Diablo 3. You guys, you know what? I don't care how good the game is anymore. I'm done with that crap, okay? This is getting just out of hand with all the problems this game is causing for PC players. You know, at first you had the fact that you couldn't log in for hours, you know, because of the servers crashing or having to be reset and everything because so many people were trying to play online. Then you had the issue where you had to log in just to play the game, even if you were playing a single campaign. You had to log in to play the game.
Ridiculous.
Then, you know, you had the glitch, the game crash glitch, where you're trading the shield to your Templar follower, the game would crash, it would boot you out, and you had to re-log in. Now, even though we can go ahead and give it a bit of good news, fastest selling PC title of all time, what was it, like 3.4 million copies in the first 24 hours?
Yep.
6 million in the first week since release. Now, not only are they nerfing the classes, because apparently it's unbalanced and players are finding it way too easy. It may not have anything to do with the fact that these guys are skilled players who've been playing Diablo 1 and 2 for years and just know what the hell they're doing, but they're going to nerf all the classes, and your accounts are being hacked now.
Not all the accounts.
Not all the accounts,
Some
no.
accounts.
But accounts. There are reports of accounts being hacked.
And this is not rumor either, so.
No, this is legit.
Yeah,
this is a legitimate,
legit.
bona fide issue.
And I will play devil's advocate on this. Every PC game has accounts getting hacked all the time. Even back when Mew, Guild Wars 1, even Guild Wars 2, you're gonna have that.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. If you did not have to create an account and log into Battle.net, would we have this problem?
No, absolutely not.
No, we wouldn't.
Not unless you had just online players would be the only ones affected.
Exactly. If you didn't want to play the game online, you didn't want to have to log in, you just wanted to play a solo campaign, a solo experience.
They should have had a party mode like they did in.
But because
The
we're on
first two.
Battle.net.
I mean,
And then, of course, you got the auction house. The auction house, they're still, you know, they've postponed it still a little bit. It's not, but they're going to go ahead and let you sell items in the auction house for real life currency. But Blizzard is going to take a percentage of what you sell it for.
Also, you forgot the fact that when you try to trade a shield.
No, I mentioned that earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I was making sure. I
Yeah,
had
no,
to keep
trust
on
me,
your
trust
toes.
me. I'm on point with this Diablo 3 Blizzard Activision thing. Because trust me, there's a lot of animosity towards Activision.
He's got
right
steam
now.
coming out of his head.
Oh
and I don't
no,
mean, like,
yeah.
And I don't mean online Steam. I mean just Steam.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. And then, like I said, the auction house. You put up items in the auction house for real life currency, dollars, euros, pesos, whatever. And when you sell it, when you sell it, Blizzard actually takes a percentage of that cut.
bottle cap.
Do they need that? Do they really need that extra oomph in cash when the game is sold in the first week alone 6 million copies?
Of course not.
I mean, like I said, I'm gonna play devil's advocate just because of the fact that every company is gonna do this. Every company, even if they haven't, they're gonna start doing it just because
all about business.
It's all about business. I mean, here's the perfect example. Does Microsoft need the $60 that everybody pays yearly?
Yes, you've got to pay the guys that are upkeeping those servers.
But I mean, you still lag out. You still lag. There's still things that are wrong with the whole Microsoft thing. But
Okay,
they don't need that money. PS3. Let me finish with this.
I'm sorry.
PS3 doesn't
I'm worked
want
up,
you
man.
doesn't want you to or wants you to pay, but they give you the incentive of, you know what, you can play for free. Now, it does hurt the company, and Microsoft does do better with the players paying yearly. But to me, it comes back down to business. Blizzard and all that, they're going to do that just because, yeah, they did create the items that you're selling online. So, yeah, I think they should take a percentage out of it. I personally I don't have Diablo, although I do want it because I played 1 and 2. I really love Diablo 1 and 2. But I do understand the business side of it. Now, yeah, of course, it may piss people off like Hyperbig over here. But I do understand what they're doing.
When does it stop?
It's never going to stop.
No, when does it stop?
Video games are politics now.
Yeah, everything is politics. But okay, I'm going to go back to the Xbox Live paying, the subscription fee for Gold. I want you to think about it, and this is where the flame war starts. Now, I own both 360 and PS3. I love both systems equally, okay? So nobody can say that I'm being biased. I don't want that, unless you want to say...
Okay.
Okay. But, like, okay, I own both systems. I play on both systems, you know. Of course, we all know I predominantly play fighters on the PS3, and I play RPGs and first-person shooters on the 360. I love both consoles. I love the PlayStation Network, and I love Xbox Live Gold. But think about it, okay? I want you to think about this. I have had this many, and if you can't see my hands, it's a 0. This many issues with Xbox Live Gold. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying. 1. I had one issue where I downloaded the demo to Gotham City Imposters and kept getting lagged out. But then come to find out, it was not live, it was my router. I had to reset my router. After that, it worked fine. So 0 issues, right?
Right.
I can't tell you how many times on PSN I have been crashed out. I can't tell you how many times on PSN I would have a completely full signal and not hook up to the internet. Right. Or PSN would just, you know... PSN has maintenance, what, twice a month now? I know it's only supposed to be once a month, but I could have sworn that PSN has been down maybe twice in the last month.
Yeah, they had one a few days ago.
Yeah, they have. And then, of course, last year you had the crash. You know, the infamous PS3, you know, right. PSN crash where it was hacked by... You know, accusedly anonymous, but whoever
they still gave us a lot in return, just for the trouble of it.
They did, but still, you don't recall having any of these issues on Live, and I do believe it's because you have dedicated people working on the Xbox Live servers and working on Xbox Live constantly, to whereas on PSN, you've only got a specific amount of people working on it because you're only outsourcing a certain amount of money to it because you're not having people play. I would rather pay to have a flawless experience online than not pay and have to keep dealing with issues.
I just wish that, like, as far as any of the features that they feature on that they have on the Xbox, as far as Live goes, is the fact that using something like Netflix or Facebook or any of these other applications, other than playing online,
Netflix
you have
does suck
to pay
on
for
360.
that.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't like
there's
Netflix
no
on 360.
reason.
Yeah, but some people use it. Yeah.
No, I use it still.
There's no reason why you should pay $60 a year and not be able to get on Netflix if you don't pay that, or even message people, or even just.
But you still have to pay for Netflix on PS3, even if you're paying.
Or they should have
as long as you have your Netflix account.
My whole thing is,
or Plus rather.
If you want to play on Live, and you want to pay the $60,
you're still paying.
Right. If you want to play on Live and you want to pay the $60 a year to have flawless gaming, whatever, because you call yourself a true gamer or whatever, then you should have that option. Now, for people that don't want to pay, you should also have that option to go online with a silver account, maybe not the best connectivity, but you're still able to play online. They should have that.
They actually did have that at one time. If you had Final Fantasy XI on the 360, you did not have to have a gold account to play it. You still had to pay a subscription fee for Final Fantasy XI to Square Enix, which was like $13 a month if I remember correctly, but you did not have to have gold. You only had to have an internet connection because it was running off of the SOE servers. It wasn't running off of the Xbox Live servers.
And that's what I'm saying. Half of the games don't even run on Microsoft servers. Like, for example, Call of Duty, that game lags online on Xbox and on PS3.
I wouldn't know. I stopped playing years ago.
I do play it.
Zing!
It still lags. And that's one thing I don't agree with. If you're going to promise somebody lag-free gaming, then make sure it's lag-free gaming on all games. If you get on Killzone, half the time, or Killzone or Uncharted Online, you don't lag on those games.
Yeah, I never lag in Killzone 3.
Because of the fact that those are the breadwinners for PS3. Same thing with Halo and same thing with Gears of War, excuse me. You don't lag on those games because those are the games
I didn't lag on Mass Effect 3 multiplayer either. But
right.
I'm glad you're talking about that because I think that another thing that would solve that problem is hosting issues.
Right.
Like, that's one of the negatives about Starhawk when I've been playing that online. On Starhawk, they don't migrate hosts if the host player loses connection. Like in Halo 3, if you're in the middle of a game, host loses connection or the connection drops to a specific, internet level, they will migrate the host to another player. Whereas in Starhawk, they don't do that. If the host gamer loses connection or he just decides to quit because he's losing and he wants, he's butthurt about it, you get booted back out to the lobby. And that whole game and all that data and all that experience and all that stuff you just did for 15, 20 minutes is lost.
See, and that's another thing, too. I don't think gamers understand. You may be ranked number 1 in the whole world in an online game, but you're not anything unless you go to MLG or anything of high standards like that. I don't think people understand that either. Also, people that run and play games online with dial-up connections, seriously.
Stop. Just stop. Save us the trouble.
Just get off.
Yeah, just get off the internet, please.
You said
just
get off.
just you're ruining the experience for everybody else.
If I'm on Starhawk and I'm losing, and it's happened, I've been in a couple wars, battles, whatever, where I was losing pretty good. I think there was one, it was 32, it was 16 on 16, and we were losing something like 200 and some odd points to like 170. And I was hosting that match. I did not quit. I kept going, because even though I was losing, I was still having fun.
Right.
I'm still going to get that experience. My KDR will go down if I was, in a negative, of course. I don't care. I'm not in it for stats. I'm in it to have fun, and I'm in it to make sure that everybody I'm playing with has fun, too. So, I don't know. Moving on, we've got some delays. That seems to be the norm every week now. For the past 3 weeks, we've had delays.
Ever since we started, it's nothing but delay.
XCOM by Take-Two and 2K Marin has been delayed till 2013. For those of you that don't know, XCOM is the resurged first-person shooter. It used to be a strategy game on PC.
Yeah.
It's been getting a lot of hype online and through gaming mags, the few that still exist in the world. And the game looks really good. It looks really interesting. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. But they went ahead and they delayed it. But on a good note, for speaking on XCOM, the Firaxis developed XCOM Enemy Unknown is still going to be released, or actually got a release date of October 9th. And that's going to be for all, PC, PS3, and 360. So even though we got a delay on one game, the second game is still coming out, and it's actually coming out this year. So
no Wii.
No Wii. I think we can go ahead and just count that out. And the other delay was Aliens: Colonial Marines.
I'm so mad.
No, I am too. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed because I want that game to be good.
Because I really want to play that game.
I want that game to be good. But that's been delayed, announced by Sega that it was going to be delayed till 2013. They want to work out some bugs and make sure that they give us a good experience, as everybody says. They always want to make sure that we're getting the best experience for our buck.
Which is fine. I'm really not mad. I'm just kind of joking around about it. But still, I was ready to play it, really get in touch with it.
I'm not going to say that XCOM is like the, it's one of those really high-profile titles that's been delayed, like Tomb Raider or Bioshock Infinite. But I do want to say that it had the potential to be a sleeper hit. I think it looks really well. Really good, rather. But Aliens: Colonial Marines, I think that one actually had the potential to be a high-profile game. And I'm wondering if Sega's choice to, their business strategy now switch to mostly DL titles, downloadable titles, I wonder if that has any effect on the actual delay, or if it's just the fact that they actually do just want to make sure that they have.
Yeah, well, I heard their actual publishing as far as to a disc.
I don't know. We'll see.
I've kind of lost hope with Sega. I really don't know what they're doing anymore.
Well, I mean, they still have potential. I mean, with Aliens: Colonial Marines, they're doing Double Fine's The Cave, which was just announced this week. They're going to be publishing that.
To me, Sega's now become the bastard child, Capcom, sort of.
No, I wouldn't say that, because Capcom still has a bunch of good stuff coming out, and
I'm saying they're like the redheaded stepchild of Capcom.
Well, since we're talking about Capcom, we can go ahead and move on to release dates.
Right.
Woo.
Devil May Cry, the rebooted Devil May Cry, has finally got a release date for January 15th. And I guess you can say that's kind of a delay, too, because at one time they were saying it was going to be in 2012 that it was released, but they never announced a date. Now they have an official date. It's going to be January 15th, 2013. And most people are kind of butthurt about it because, they switched Dante's appearance, and it's a reboot. It's not going to have anything to do with the original series.
He looks so average.
He looks very emo. But I'm wondering if that's going to change throughout the game. Because,
he looks
like us, with a sword.
To us, he looks emo and all that stuff. But to younger players that are getting, their first-hand experience to this whole mythology behind Devil May Cry, it looks modern to the new age, I guess.
Well, what if they have a plan? I mean, what if, Ninja Theory, the company developing the game, Capcom is publishing the game, but Ninja Theory is developing. If you're not familiar with Ninja Theory, they developed Heavenly Sword for the PS3 and Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, which came out for PS3 and 360. Yeah. Both really good games. A lot of people didn't like Enslaved. I'm interested in it. I mean, I still want to check that one out.
Giant escort mission.
I did enjoy Heavenly Sword when it came out. So Ninja Theory has, they have really good games under their belt. They've got experience under their belt. And if you look at the combat, if it's anything like Heavenly Sword, then that's also a plus, because combat in Heavenly Sword was done really well. And, Ninja Theory has come out to say that the combat, they want people to play this game. They don't want people to, sleep on the game simply because they decided to reboot it and not continue it from where it was before. Don't sleep on it because of Dante's appearance being changed, but give it a chance because the gameplay is...
With Capcom just loving their support and all that stuff, there's going to be download DLC with Dante reskins and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
That's definitely going to be in there.
Yeah, they'll have the classic look for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They have to.
I wonder if the reboot, though, if they're going to change his appearance throughout. Because, I mean, with them rebooting it, it's similar to Square Enix, rebooting Tomb Raider. They went back, even though it's a start over for the series, they're going back to how it began. Like, it's a younger Lara Croft in Tomb Raider. I'm assuming that's probably what they're doing
because now she'd be over 40 and wouldn't look as good.
She'd be complaining about her hip halfway through a mission.
Yeah. she'd make that jump to the ledge and like slip,
right?
And like twist her ankle or something. Yeah. Well, no, but I mean like
taking arthritis pills.
They go ahead and they release Devil May Cry Part 2 with the reboots, and Dante's a little more mature. He's a little older. Maybe something happens in the game that turns his hair white again, like it was in the. I don't know. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different ways that they can play it out, and we just have to be patient, give it a chance. I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
I'm definitely getting it, just because I'm a huge DMC fan.
Yeah. So and since we're talking about reboots and we're talking about older games, being remade or coming out. Well, not really Capcom, because I mean, Capcom.
Well, yeah, Capcom.
Street Fighter, the 25th anniversary pack has been announced for September 29th.
I'm really loving this idea.
You know what? I'm on the fence. I am. Like I said, okay. Basically, the anniversary pack coming out, like I just said, celebrating the 25th anniversary of Street Fighter. Pros and cons. It's $150, $149.99, and it comes with a slew of stuff. It comes with a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to come with DL codes for Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. You're going to get Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Online Edition. You're also going to get hard copies of Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition and Street Fighter Cross Tekken. You're going to get all the costume DLC for Street Fighter 4 and the character swap costume DLC for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. In addition to all that, that's not it. You're going to get the statue, the light-up statue. You're going to get the belt. You're going to get the collector's box. You're going to get a certificate of authenticity. You're also going to get an 11-disc soundtrack with all the music spanning the series for 25 years. You're going to get the 2-disc Blu-ray set, which is going to have a documentary covering the franchise. It's going to have Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 4 anime films. Well, we already said Street Fighter 4. You're going to get all the episodes from the animated series. You're going to get Street Fighter 2, the animated movie. You're going to get the 64-page art book, and you're also going to get... What was the other one that was in there?
The certificate of authenticity.
I think I said that.
Yeah,
well, basically, like this is my thing about that. If you don't own that stuff, or you haven't been a fan of Street Fighter for this long, that's great. That's completely awesome.
That box also is awesome.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's like I said in the article I posted. I'm just gonna wear the belts and flip flops and my Ryu headband I have here and just walk around the office. So I'll make sure I do that when you guys aren't here.
The box alone, I think that's the only reason why I would pick it up. It's just
got the Akuma mark on it.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. I already own all this.
Except for the box.
I have.
And the statue.
I have Street Fighter 4. I have Cross Tekken. I have, Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD. I have Street Fighter 3 Third on Strike. I have all the movies on DVD. I have Street Fighter Alpha Generations, Street Fighter 2 animated movie. I've got Street Fighter 2V, the box set. I've got all this stuff. As far as the soundtrack goes, over the years, I've already collected all this music. I have all that. The only thing that's included in here that I don't have are those little extra perks, like, the statue, the belt, and the box. And I don't want to pay $150 for those items. And this is my biggest gripe. Why do I want Street Fighter Cross Tekken in this? You know what I want in this? I want the Alpha series. Street Fighter Alpha 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
I want to see some EX titles. Get rid of the soundtrack, get rid of Cross Tekken, give me the Alpha series. Give me the codes to download them if that's what you want to do, because that's all you're doing with Third Strike and Street Fighter 2 anyway.
Yeah, so if you already own them as far as online, as far as like through PlayStation Network or Xbox Live, forget about it, because that's all they're giving you is they're not putting it on disc, they're just giving you download codes.
And it also seems to me, if they're putting Street Fighter Cross Tekken in there for the 25 years that they've been going, the 25th anniversary, they should also put,
where's Street Fighter
Marvel
1?
versus Capcom, SNK versus Capcom,
Marvel Superheroes versus Capcom.
Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter.
Yeah.
They should have all that too if they're gonna have Cross Tekken as well.
That's what I meant. I meant Street Fighter, not Capcom.
It's alright.
Yeah, you get the
you
point.
got it.
But even then, I already have that sitting right over there. PlayStation 1. See it. We got it up there on the shelf. Marvel Superheroes.
Yeah, but not
Street
everybody
Fighter.
can.
Even
well,
the
I know.
EX
But no, I'm
titles.
talking. Well, I've looked right there. Street Fighter EX 2. I've got that. I mean, like, I've got most of the stuff. So as a collector,
EX.
but like, this is the biggest omission, and this is the biggest thing that bothers me about it. No Street Fighter 1.
Yeah, where's Street Fighter 1? Where's the original Street Fighter 2, like Championship Edition or Turbo?
I think that they just selected the items to put in here, and based off of what they have out already now.
They really didn't want to put like some of these older games on disc.
They just didn't want to do the extra work. Basically, what they're doing is they're taking everything that's available now and they're just putting it together in a box set. They didn't want to sit here and have to do extra work. If they wanted to put Street Fighter 1 on there, they would have to actually develop the title again. They would have to go back and basically recode it so that they can put it on, the arcade, PSN or Xbox Live Arcade. Same thing with Alpha because, because all 3 Alphas are available on PSN, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. None of the EXs are available, so they would have to, because I know I have Alpha 3, because that was the best one in the Alpha series. None of the EX titles are available. Unless you own the hard copies, like I do.
Well, they were kind of ashamed of EX.
Why? EX was it wasn't the greatest Street Fighter stuff to come out,
but
it
were
was
not
still fun
happy
to play.
about them.
I don't care. It's a part of the history.
EX.
That's like WWE trying to rewrite their history with Chris Benoit or omit people from history because they're not with the company anymore. You can't rewrite history, okay? It's still there. Regardless of how much you ignore the EX titles came out. People still enjoyed them. Even if it was to play them to see how horrible they were, it doesn't matter, or how horrible they looked, because I'm sorry, Ryu looked really, really horrible in the EX titles. They all did, really. But they were still a part of the history, and they're still a part of what made Street Fighter so great. It's a reminder that at one time Capcom tried to take the series in a 3D direction, and it didn't work, but they still made the attempt, they still did it, and it's something in my eyes that they should not have omitted from the collection. They should have put in it, and as a true Street Fighter fan like I am, I definitely believe that these are things that should have been in there. So I thought about it after I posted the article, because I put in the article that I'm probably going to, pick it up. And I even said before the podcast that I'm going to go ahead and pre-order it, if it's available for pre-order at some point. Now, after talking about it and venting on it, I think I'm going to pass.
But it is, like, if anybody hasn't really, played too much of Street Fighter or want to get introduced into the series, this is not a bad box set to grab. Really, it isn't.
No, it's not, but...
I think they were aiming more towards, putting people in more of a new zone.
I think they have to be in between casual players and uber Street Fighter fans. They have to be somewhere in between,
right.
In order to really want to grab this box set.
Like I said, and I think, like I previously stated, they were trying to put people in the newer setting, a newer zone. Speaking about new zones,
Zone of Enders.
Zone of Enders.
Zone of Enders.
That's awesome.
Hideo Kojima announced that Kojima Productions or whatever, they are working on a new Zone of Enders project. Now, this is not confirmed to be a sequel or a title, or well, they said sequel. So I don't know, the sources that I got from 4Gamer posted it, and they posted an article about it. That wasn't the source, but they posted how it doesn't mean that it's an actual sequel to the series. But Kojima said it's a sequel. So I don't know what the deal is there. There's a bit of confusion going.
Well, Kojima is a weird character as it is.
I love that guy. He's so awesome. He's so down to earth, and he's so good at his craft, with Metal Gear and with Zone of Enders and stuff. And a lot of people, they didn't like the new Castlevania. And even though Kojima didn't have a direct hand in it, they were just overseeing the project. I thought it came out really well. But they're working on a new Zone of Enders project. It's still in early production stages. They're still working with their Fox graphics engine, to work out everything. But so yeah, there was a few bits of artwork that were revealed also at the unveiling over in Japan, and in the process they also announced finally a release date for the HD collection, which is October 25th in Japan. Now there's no Western release date yet, but it's coming to America. Zone of Enders is very popular. People are wanting a sequel. We're wanting those games. I loved Zone of Enders back when I played them on PS2.
Yeah, if you've never played them, definitely pick up an HD collection when it finally makes its way over here, because it's going to happen.
It is, and it'll probably be $29.99 like all the HD collections have been, the God of War ones and Metal Gear and all that. But, I'm really psyched about that. I love the Zone of Enders titles.
Zone of the Enders was kind of like a sleeper hit to me, because, you really don't know. A lot of people didn't know it was tied into the whole Metal Gear series.
No, they didn't.
And that's what I'm saying. That to me was a sleeper hit,
and great crossover without actually trying to milk it for commercial purposes.
Yeah, and that has to come over to Western markets. If they don't, I'll be surprised, but I think it will.
It definitely will, and of course that'll be on PS3 because the Zone of Enders titles were on PS2. I'm actually excited to hear more news about the newer project. We've been keeping up with Kojima Productions with their new Metal Gear that they're coming out with. All the little teaser trailers that they've been releasing, the really weird ones. But, I think that I'm more psyched now about the Zone of Enders news than I am anything.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
So, let's go. Kojima, don't let us down. But then again, he never has, so... Well, then again, there was Snake Eater.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that.
I thought it was fun. The gameplay was great. Typical Metal Gear, with the boss fights and all that stuff. I just didn't like the story. I don't like prequels that much. I'm the kind of guy that when I play a game series, I want to see what's going on from beginning to end. I want it to be in a nice, just fluent time frame.
Right.
I don't like prequels. I think it's just a waste of time because you could have elaborated more so on what's supposed to happen and what we're waiting on to see happen than what did happen. So
Yeah.
Unless it's a good prequel, but no, those are really hard to come by.
I'm trying to think if there's any prequel games that I played that I enjoyed, and nope.
Well, think about it this way: from Mortal Kombat Armageddon to now Mortal Kombat.
But it's not a prequel; it's a reboot.
I know it's a reboot, but I'm just saying.
It's not a prequel. A prequel and a reboot are two different things.
Right. He does make a valid point.
So we're just gonna pass on that. I don't know. So, anyway.
Yeah, we go from good news to bad news.
What do you guys think about the...
I got more good news on here.
Do you? Really?
Yeah, Max Payne.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I see what you're talking about, because you don't like Max Payne.
No, I was looking at the next thing on our list here.
What's the next thing? Oh, the Activision Infinity Ward thing?
Yeah, but
we'll wait. Yeah, we'll wait on that. That's Max Payne 3, in the first week, sold 3 million copies. Is anybody surprised?
No, I'm not surprised, really.
I mean, come on. Moonlight, even though
I am surprised.
Well, I was about to try to give you the benefit of the doubt. And
I
say
figured it would hit 1 million, but not 3 million.
Why not? Oh, and let's just go ahead and go on record as to say that these numbers are released and it hasn't even come out on PC yet.
Yeah.
So you're still going to have the sales on PC to add on to the still growing sales up until this point for Max Payne 3.
Hey, I'm happy that gamers are loving it, but, still, I mean, just not my kind of thing.
No, I mean, you don't have to like it. Everybody has their taste.
Exactly.
But
I love Rockstar. I love everything that Rockstar does.
You can't sit here and say it's going to be a horrible game.
No, you can't say you love everything that Rockstar does.
No, I'm saying I love other than the Max Payne series.
Right.
Like, I'll play Bully, I'll put in Red Dead Redemption, hell, I'll put in Red Dead Revolver, and still play that.
Red Dead Revolver, God, I haven't heard about that one in a while. That was actually fun.
Red Dead Revolver was fun.
It was, yeah.
But we're on Max Payne. So, back to... Actually, that's really all we have to say about Max Payne, really. I mean, is there anything else you guys want to elaborate on?
I mean, is there, anything going on as far as, have y'all played the online, or...
It sold 3 million copies in a week.
No, I'm saying, have you guys had a chance to play it yet? Pick it up and see it.
I have not contributed to the 3 million sales yet.
Look at you.
Well, dude, I took my gamer fund this week and I invested them in retro titles. I got Final Fantasy 1 for Nintendo sitting over there now. Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3, and the original Metroid.
It's shiny over there.
Isn't it? You see it?
I see it.
Here, hold on.
I see it.
Yeah, he's gonna put up to the mic so everybody can see it.
There, look at this.
If you could see that.
That's Final Fantasy 1 for Nintendo.
Yeah, what he's tapping is the actual cartridge.
Yeah, and he just probably broke the fucking game.
Hey, I did not. I just tapped it softly. It was just close to the mic. So my gamer fund this week went into retro titles. My gamer fund next week is going into retro titles. I got some games that I got to go meet up with to pick up for Nintendo. I got about 15, 20 Nintendo games I'm picking up. Fester's Quest.
No.
Street Fighter 2 for Super Nintendo, still in the box.
You have to get Contra. If you don't get Contra...
What part of Street Fighter 2 for Super Nintendo with the box don't you understand?
Contra.
But it's not in the box.
Contra.
In the
Konami
box.
code.
You actually, this week, if you went to the Konami website for the new Metal Gear game and put in the Konami code, you actually got more info. They would give you
hint.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, okay. Let's digress. Max Payne 3, over 3 million copies in the first week.
Congratulations
Rockstar.
Rocksteady.
You started talking, it threw me off.
Rocksteady? Bebop?
Whatever, yeah, right. Bebop and Rocksteady. I don't know, I always like Krang.
Yeah, Krang is awesome.
Yeah, he's a little brain and a robot. Okay. Those were Ninja Turtle references, if you younger people don't know. The original Ninja Turtles, the good Ninja Turtles.
Not the shit that what's-his-face is making.
Michael Bay. Yeah, he's shitting on our childhood and wiping his ass with our money. Okay, so there's a new free-to-play MMO coming out from SOE, Sony Online Entertainment. It's called Bullet Run. It's going to be completely free to download, completely free to play. Of course, microtransactions are going to pay for it in-game. Costumes, weapons, I assume, stuff like that. Basically pay to win. But actually, I posted an article about it on the site this week, and the game actually looks pretty big, pretty huge. It's based. Imagine The Condemned with Steve Austin. It's the best way to explain it. You're on a reality show, people are watching you go around and kill people, and the flashier you kill people, the better it looks. The more fame you get, and fame you use as in-game currency to buy, clothes, costume swaps, upgrades, and stuff like that. And of course, the better you are at, killing, the better you look while killing, the more fame you get, and the more you drive the online community, the people watching the reality show, absolutely nuts. And of course,
you know how many spins this could have? Like, just imagine how many people on Twitch TV will be recording this. Meanwhile, they're actually going out and doing everything that they're, you know.
That's actually, streaming your...
Yeah.
We might have to do that. We might have
That's
to pick
a
it
good
up
idea.
and stream some sessions.
Like, I think this could really well change gaming with, like, you know, online components. Like, not online components,
It depends on how they
online
drop it.
websites,
Well, I mean, look at
stuff.
this. I mean, they have DC Universe. Now that like Dust 514 is coming, as far as with for
Free to
EVE
play.
Online,
PS3,
yeah.
yeah.
And then now we've got Bullet Run coming. That's awesome.
That is,
Yeah.
I think a lot of companies are going to start going towards, you know, the free-to-play model, and they're just going to, you know,
I just hope
govern it
Xbox picks
financially
it
with
up because Xbox players deserve that too.
Yeah.
They do.
But you also have to look at it like this, though. Again, that's the drawback of free-to-play games. DCUO, it went months as horrible, just
Right.
execution. You know, you had game crashes, you had so many glitches in the game, it was ridiculous. You had it to the point where you couldn't even finish raids. I mean, I remember playing a couple raids where we got to the boss and it started glitching, and we had to leave and couldn't even go back into play because, you know, what's the point? You have to start all over from the beginning of the raid, and you only play those raids and get the credit for them once. So I had to play through the raid twice to get credit just once. We would just say,
Okay,
screw
maybe
it.
DC Universe is a bad example.
Well, they've
but,
fixed it since then, so
yeah,
I'm going
of
to record
course.
it.
I mean,
that,
I
but
love playing it still.
They fixed it, but I mean that's not to say that to raise more money they may not like come out with starter packages and stuff like that either.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, Dust 514 is what I'm excited about.
Mass Effect 3 actually has a pay-to-win type thing, but you're not playing competitively, so it doesn't really affect it. But like with Mass Effect 3's online, you can buy, you know, your packs, your weapon packs, your Spectre packs, stuff like that, recruit packs with in-game currency. But if you don't feel like playing that long to do it, you can go ahead and just spend
But
money
you
on
have
Microsoft
to get
points.
discs for it though.
And, well, yeah, but
So
I
you
mean,
have to go through that little.
but what I'm
hurdle.
saying is they took a little bit of that model and implemented it into the game,
Right.
and you could buy Microsoft points to. I haven't played it on PS3, so I'm assuming you can do the same thing on that one. But you know, I played on 360. You can take Microsoft points and buy those packs to unlock new characters, unlock new weapon upgrades, armor upgrades, and to, you know, get new weapons in general. So, you know, I think the free-to-play model is it's if it's done right and it's done well, okay. And that's what I liked about Starhawk actually. The thing that drew me to Starhawk is it wasn't free to play. You still had to purchase the game, right?
Yeah.
But all the DLC maps in the future are going to be free.
yeah, that's really cool. I think that's very, very generous of Starhawk.
So, and I thought that
Whoever's
was,
developing.
I
SOE.
completely forgot.
Oh, it is. It's Sony
yeah, it's
online?
SOE,
Okay.
SOE Santa Monica. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
sorry.
So I thought that was actually really cool of them. So, but yeah, so a lot of some of the keynotes, the high notes that I wanted to bring up about Bullet Run is, of course, it being free to play, it's free to download. You know, additional content will be available for purchase in the game marketplace. You're gonna have a nemesis system. It's gonna identify the contestant that's constantly blocking your path to stardom, is how they put it. Or if you just want to basically, you know, use layman's terms, whoever keeps kicking your ass the most is going to become your nemesis for that particular game. Or you know, so I don't know if that carries on after the match. Like if you're going to have this
Probably will.
list where it says, okay, you know, this is the guy that you fought the most in X amount of matches and he keeps kicking your ass. But whatever. You're going to have a taunt system. So you could go ahead and pump up the crowd that's watching, you know, that virtual crowd that's supposed to be watching these
Teabagging?
fights. Hey, dude, I guarantee you, if it is any type of game, they're going to have teabagging, and if not, you can probably just crouch over them much
Because
times.
if you look at the graphics, it looks kind of like, you know, like a really nice, fine polished Team Fortress 2.
I was going to say that, yeah. It looks a lot reminiscent of Team Fortress 2. So, you're going to have customization abilities, 8 kill skills, basically. So you can go ahead and use these. Think about Borderlands and any other game that has skill trees. You know, Dead Island, where, you know, the more you play, the more you unlock, of course. You unlock more skills, CUs, depending on which character you're using. So
One of the best zombie games ever.
yes, well, no. I traded it in about halfway through because twice I had hit a game-breaking glitch and couldn't continue, and I didn't want to have to replay 4 hours of game just to get past. So I said, screw you, you're gone, and I went and traded it in. And I can't remember what I traded it in for, but, you know,
It's obviously better than what you traded.
it was obviously better than what I had. So,
Right.
yeah, I think, you know, some of the skills that are mentioned are, you know, you can have damage heals, you can have berserk mode, enemy trapping robots, aerial ammo attacks, and miniguns and stuff. Aerial ammo attacks. I wonder what that's going to be all about. Does that mean, like, you can jump and then just, like, come down and, like, you know, put your gun in somebody's the back of the... Oh, you know what? Off track. Did you see the new Sleeping Dogs trailer that
No.
Sony announced, Sleeping Dogs 101?
No,
Dude, there's one part in the montage of the trailer where the main character, I don't remember his name, I think it's Juan or whatever, Wayne, something like that.
Something.
He's fighting this guy over a car, and the car has an engine hoisted over it, right? He got the guy there, and he takes the engine and drops it on the guy's head, and the head just explodes everywhere.
That's awesome.
You have car chases, and if you're close enough, you're not driving the car. Your AI is going to be driving the car, so you can stop and shoot, do what you want. So in Grand Theft Auto, when you have to drive and shoot at the same time, you don't have to worry about that. You go ahead and jump from your car to the car in front of you, from like the hood to the hood, and carjack the car that way.
That's awesome.
I know I just completely went off subject, but it just looks really good. I am definitely going to pick up Sleeping Dogs by Square Enix. The game looks great.
As long as it's not like True Crime Streets of LA, I'll be happy, because that game was terrible.
Agreed.
Yeah, that game was horrible.
But anyway, I know that was off subject. So keep your eyes open. Free-to-play MMO from SOE, Bullet Run, blah, blah, blah. So now we'll go ahead and move on to the meat and potatoes of the podcast. Not really. I'm just hungry, so I said that. Activision and Infinity Ward. So, this lawsuit, it's over now. They settled outside of court. Scroll down. No, up. I'm sorry. Scroll up.
Yeah, I was right there at the beginning.
Well, you weren't. You need to go up to a little more. Past the picture. There you go. See, I didn't prep for this one. There you go.
And what website is this that we're looking at?
WinLostGaming.com. WinLostGaming.com.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
All right, so Game Informer did an interview with the co-founders of Infinity Ward, the guys that Activision ended up terminating. They did an interview with, Weston Zampella about the lawsuit. And, of course, this interview was done before the lawsuit was settled, but, of course, the lawsuit's been settled since it's been published. So, and you could go to the site, or you can go to GameInformer.com. We'll tout them, too, because they're the guys that did the interview. It's their interview, not ours. And if you actually read some of the stuff that Weston and Zampella are saying, and then you go ahead and you cross it over with some of the contractual documents that were leaked from the actual court case, especially the ones that are involving Bungie's new game, Activision needs to be put down like some sort of dying rabid dog.
Activision, after reading this and seeing the documents and all that stuff, I have really lost respect for Activision. I really don't even know. I'm just gonna stop talking. I'm just so
one of the quotes in the interview. Zampella said that Activision stated that Modern Warfare 3 would have been a much better game and would have made $700 million more for them if they would not have fired West and Zampella. They went on record as to say, Activision did, that West and Zampella wanted to get fired. They got fired intentionally so they didn't have to work on the title, and decided that they didn't want to get paid millions and millions and millions of dollars. I think it was like 10 million, 50, I don't know, it was millions of dollars these guys would have gotten paid. They completely disregarded that paycheck whatsoever and just wanted to get fired so they can go work for EA. Now, this is what happened. According to the court documents and according to the interview with Weston Zampella, what happened was Activision told Weston Zampella and Infinity Ward that after Modern Warfare 3, or no, after Modern Warfare 2 I think it was, they can go on and make any kind of game that they wanted. They did not have to immediately start work on a Modern Warfare title. Did not have to be Call of Duty related. They could have worked on whatever they wanted. They were also entitled to millions of dollars in royalties. Activision decided... What happened was Weston Zampella wanted to start working on the new title. Zampella, sorry. Zampella started working on the new title. Activision said, "Wait, no, what are you doing? We need the new Call of Duty so we can so we can have one coming out annually like we always do." They're like, "Wait, no, you said we could work on something else." Activision's like, "No, you can't." So what Activision did when they realized that Weston Zampella wanted to work on the new title, which was in their contract, they decided to bring up BS reasons to fire these guys and move forward with making Modern Warfare 3 without them.
Yeah.
Okay? So, here's the thing. In addition to firing them, they decided since they fired them and that Weston Zampella didn't work for the company anymore, they didn't have to pay them the royalties from Modern Warfare 2 and tried to move on with their lives. Now you have Weston Zampella who are like, wait a minute, no, hold on. You owe us X amount of millions of dollars for this game. Regardless of whether we work for you or not, we made this game, we developed this game, you published it under our name, Infinity Ward, we created this freaking studio, you're going to pay us, and Activision's like, no, screw you, go to hell.
I think what it ended up to be, Activision owes them $27 million, I think, right?
I don't remember the exact numbers, but I know that they settled out of court. Activision is, of course, going to pay them the money they owe them. And, of course, you have Destiny now that came out of all this. Now gamers are like, well, what's Destiny? Destiny is a code name for the game that Bungie's working on. Now, if you go back and you read the contractual stipulations that Bungie has in their contract with Activision, which came into light through this lawsuit, they are going to get bonuses if this game reaches a specific score online and score by reviews.
Right.
Also, it has to sell more than Halo. It's supposed to be a Halo killer.
Oh, no.
Bungie working on a Halo killer?
Yeah,
No.
well, you know what? Yeah, Bungie, you created Halo, you love Halo, but you left it behind when you left Microsoft. If you really think that you're going to destroy Halo simply by, using Activision's
All I'd
wallets,
say is good luck.
Yeah, you're out of your mind, sorry. Even with 343. 343 had just as much to do with creating Halo and working on these games than Bungie did. And the fact that some of the original Bungie staff members are still with 343 working on this, some key players as well, that's not going to happen. But the bottom line is,
Continue saying
Oh, my
sorry.
opinion?
Yeah, I was reading your opinion.
Yeah, the bottom line is this. Activision's business model's double-edged sword. From a business standpoint, they're making money, and they're probably the best publisher out to make this kind of money. They're obviously, doing something right. But from a consumer, from a gamer standpoint, and someone who does not like these big business practices, as I just put down there in my opinion after the article, F you, Activision. This is a new form of low. I think that they are literally just trying to do whatever they can to destroy anything that is not Activision. And honestly, if you are that threatened by Halo, a title that is only coming out for one system, to whereas your title comes out for multiple systems, okay? And you feel that threatened by it, then you're a very shallow company. Because here's the deal. You're still going to have people buy Call of Duty, and you're still going to have people buy Halo. Halo's still going to sell millions and millions of copies. It's still going to break sales records regardless of what you do, Activision. And your Call of Duty, sadly, your rehashed, same game every year, is going to still break sales records as well. There's no reason for you to go out and try to destroy another company's title.
Yep.
It's childish and it's wrong, and this is what's wrong with gaming today. And that leaks down to gamers too. There's too much fanboy criticism going on in the gaming world today. You have PS3, elitists who hate the 360 elitists and vice versa, and you know what? Get along. You're gamers. You all like games. You might play different games, but they're the same kind of games. You like Killzone?
Yes,
Moonlight?
I like Killzone.
I like Halo. But at the end of the day...
I like Halo too.
I was going to say, at the end of the day, they're first-person shooters. They're sci-fi first-person shooters. And they're really fun games to play. I'm not going to tell you, Killzone sucks. Screw you because you like Killzone. I hate you. I'm not going to do that. And if you did that to me, then I would look down on you. And I just think that it has to stop. At what point, again, does all this crap stop? At what point do we not sit back and say, we all love gaming. Let's just game.
That's never going to happen unless we have a Martin Luther King of gaming.
Can't we all just get along?
I like Martin Luther King, but I would probably come off more so like Malcolm X though. Get your hand out my pocket, fool! Remember right before they shot him in the movie?
And you would have the stance as far as the two fingers on the head with the glasses slightly down.
No, I wouldn't have two fingers up. I'd have one finger up, and it would be pointed at Activision.
Oh man!
Zing! Number 2.
So, I mean, if you guys have anything to chime in on this, obviously.
Like I said, I am very disappointed at Activision.
That's a lot of controversy going around. So there's no telling what people are thinking as far as on this whole thing. Like, there's no telling what Activision was thinking about it. There's no telling what Weston Zampella, thank you, were thinking on this. Like, it's a big mess right now. But it'll settle, and then they'll just go back to making games, and then it'll be it.
West said it best in the interview. He said, "Don't give me $100 million. Fire me. That would be awesome." That was the case Activision had against them. That sums it up right there. That West and Zampella orchestrated their own firing, passed up hundreds of millions of dollars so they could be fired and go work for EA. Yeah, a company who won't be able to pay them that much money. They just
want the royalties, for the games that they worked on. They want to be paid for the work they put into it. That's it.
And that's only fair. And that's what upsets me about Activision is the fact that they're greedy enough to do this.
And blatantly doing it right there in public. Like, they don't care what people think or say about their image in this. They just want their money, and that's just wrong.
Yeah.
That's why I love Bethesda and BioWare and, companies like that, Atlas. They try to give us what we want as opposed to what they think we need, They're still in it for the big budget. They have to be in order to make money to keep going.
I still love Capcom. They put a lot of heart in theirs.
Yeah, they put a lot of heart in how they can get more money out of you through DLC, but whatever. And of course, then the last thing we have on our list is the possible ban of Xbox 360s in the United States due to the lawsuit Motorola has taken against Microsoft for patent infringement.
It's actually a judge who is actually lawsuiting.
Right. I don't think that will happen.
No, Motorola started this case, and they are suing Microsoft for apparently 7 patents that Microsoft has illegally used. 7 patented software, patents that Microsoft is using in the Xbox 360 technology.
And of course, Microsoft said in retort to this that it would just be bad public interest, because then that's the 360,
Okay, well, this is the problem that I have with this case, other than the fact that the judge is actually siding with Motorola, which is, of course, going to make this have to go to a higher level. And bottom line is the only way that the 360 is going to get banned for selling, it has to go to the Federal Trade Commission, and then after that, if they agree with the judge, it's got to go to Barack Obama. And Barack Obama has to have the final say as to whether or not they're going to ban the sale of 360s in America.
And Barack Obama
He's not going to ban it. The guy's awesome. I don't care what people think about it.
He's a gamer.
He probably plays the 360.
He's a gamer. He is. No, he's gone on record as to say he plays the Wii with his daughters and stuff like that, and he plays video games. I mean, he said it in the past. So the guy's not going to ban 360 sales. So there's nothing to worry about. To me, it's the balls that Motorola has trying to do this. You do it 6 years, 7 years after the initial release of the console. You say, okay, wait a minute. You guys have made all this money. We want our cut, and for you to stop selling. In addition to that, if you look back, the patents that Microsoft used are free-to-use patents.
Yeah.
Motorola specifically stated, anybody can use these, as long as you have our permission.
Maybe they wouldn't make horrible cell phones.
Well, yeah, really. But wait, mine is a Motorola. Basically, the only thing that Microsoft really did wrong in this, and this is their slap on the hand, is they did not receive permission. Even though Motorola specifically stated anybody can use this technology as long as you just let us know, hey, we want to use this, is it cool? We'll say yes. Motorola did not do that. They didn't say, hey, can we use this? So that's it. But Motorola, you do cell phones. You don't do video games. The impact that the 360 has on the world financially does not affect you in any way.
But still, even if they did use I can understand where Motorola wants their name, say, be put on somewhere on the system. Maybe not on the system, maybe on the box or something like that, that they were using that certain patented, hardware. I can understand where that aspect comes in. But as far as to banning the 360, I don't see it happening, and I'll be very astonished if it does. But that's really all I have to say about it.
That's all I got to say about that.
Marvin's being the Randy Jackson of this group.
I don't know who Randy Jackson is, but I take offense to that. So
American Idol judge.
Oh.
Yeah.
The black guy.
I'm just not feeling it, dog. I'm just not feeling it.
So I do know who Randy Jackson is. I just couldn't put a picture to it. I'll still take offense to it, though.
Yeah, I would take offense to it. I would rather be Paula Abdul.
No, Vega, you're Simon Cowell. That's all there is to it.
Whatever. New releases this week.
You're Steven Tyler. There you go.
I would rather be
Steven Tyler?
Jennifer Lopez because she's got a big ass booty. Anyways, Ghost Recon, Future Soldier.
Ghost Recon Future Soldier came out this week. The game actually has a couple things in it that most shooters don't. I mean, they innovated a few things, I guess I should say, to sound more... Here, I'm going to sound more professional. They have pushed the envelope in innovation. How's that?
They may very well have.
Well, with the gun customizations, the fact that you can use the Kinect sensor to create your own, mesh of a gun, taking parts and bits and pieces from everywhere else and putting them together. Remember the trailer I posted of Ice-T's wife Coco doing it in a thong? No? We'll go to the website and find it. But anyway, yeah, and then of course you have ammo upgrades and stuff and gun upgrades that you can use throughout multiplayer and single player, like anti-ammo. And then you can combine that with another feature where you can have like X-ray vision through walls to see the guns. Like you can see where guns are. So if somebody's walking on the other side of a wall with a gun, you see the gun, not the person, but the gun. And then you can use the anti-armor ammo to shoot that person through the wall.
That's pretty
now,
cool.
Now I'm seeing in my head as far as the gun coming around the wall, like that as far as like the
I just think
silhouette of a gun.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Gun.
I do. I think that they have pushed the envelope a little as far as, and of course it's third person, not first person. The meat and potatoes, of course, as I mentioned before, meat and potatoes because I'm hungry. But apparently, the bulk of multiplayer, of course, they concentrate. It's Tom Clancy. I mean,
yeah, I'm interested in actually renting it and going to check it out and giving it a whirl.
I'm gonna pass.
You're gonna pass?
I'm gonna pass.
You're really gonna pass after all that?
I might check it out
after all that innovation.
I admire and respect their attempts at innovation. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna pay for it.
No, I mean like just going to rent it and like giving it a shot.
I might, but then
if I rent it, I will bring it here to our office and play it.
Okay, because I was gonna say if I did that, then I would have to pass up our next new release of the week, Dragon's Dogma.
Oh,
Dragon's Dogma. Corny story, great execution.
Everybody's
Capcom,
loving it.
Everybody, yeah, you know, and I mentioned this when I talked about downloading the demo, how people were kind of worried because it's Capcom stepping out of their comfort zone, doing a fantasy game, you know, with, you know, the fantasy setting and the combat and such. Most Japanese developers don't dabble in that. I mean, they do dabble in fantasy, but it's mostly, you know, the JRPG type fantasy. Let's be honest, this type of fantasy setting and fantasy gameplay is more Western, you know, Skyrim, Witcher 2, stuff like that. Yeah, or European as well, Witcher 2.
I'm just saying, like, European or Western.
Yeah, so people were worried. And you must be
European.
You must be from London because European. What? Anyway, Dragon's Dogma came out. Really good reviews. I'm definitely going to check this one out. There's not any multiplayer in this one, as most fantasy games for some reason. But basically, the game puts you in a fantasy setting where at the beginning of the game, your character is tasked with killing a dragon. Pretty common nowadays. Witcher 2, taking care of dragons. Skyrim, taking care of hundreds of dragons. You have your pawns in the game, which are your NPCs that follow you around during your party. Your NPCs, of course, you can edit your party to your playstyle. So you're not okay. Most fantasy games, you want to have a nice little balance. If you're going to be playing a tank, you know, that's just DPS, or, you know, just somebody who likes to hack and slash with a sword, you want to have a mage on your side, or a healer, or whatever.
With magic, someone with healing.
Exactly. You want to. In this game, you don't have to do that. In this game, you can have a whole party full of mages or magic users, you know, and it still works out really well because the way that the battle system is implemented is you're not overpowered, but it's going to be equally effective all around.
Right.
Your pawns, of course, like I said, they're NPCs that have absolutely no personality because they are here from other worlds. Now, Capcom took that and ran with it. Basically, you can send your NPCs off, your pawns off, and be picked up in other games. I don't know exactly how that's implemented because I haven't played it yet, but I will be playing it here shortly. I'll be picking it up. I don't know if it's just people on your friends list or if you just put it up on a worldwide or server or whatever and people just take a pawn into the game. But once your pawn goes to someone else's game and plays along with them for a while and then it comes back, if there's items or missions or something that were found in that person's game that you haven't found yet, your pawn will tell you about them in spoken dialogue, and of course now you have access to go find these items.
That's cool though. That's really cool.
I think
if only they had multiplayer, it'd be one of the best Capcom titles of the year.
I do think that was the one thing about this game. That's the one drawback is it doesn't have actual
it'd be one of the best titles of the entire year, period, as far as any game company.
You have the Dragon mission, which basically is their attempt at a specific type of multiplayer. Basically, you and everyone in the world have to find the Dragon in your game and defeat the Dragon, okay? Whatever you do, whatever damage you do to that Dragon, it's going to be uploaded to a worldwide server where it's calculated with everybody else's damage, and once you guys actually take down the Dragon, it's mission complete. Whoever gets in the killing blow with your damage that takes down the Dragon will get specific bonus prizes as far as maybe weapon upgrades or something like that, or an armor, or, you know, some sort of gamer whatever, like maybe an avatar item so people can see that you were the one that did it or something like that. But so I don't know exactly what it is, but I think that's also really cool. So it's like a leaderboard, a worldwide leaderboard, but all of the scores for people that are playing, all the damage scores that you use on that Dragon in your game will be combined with everyone else's. So the Dragon must be like the most powerful boss in gaming history.
Yeah,
because if you have like if you have like 100,000 people playing this game, and they're all averaging 100,000 points of damage, that's like what, billions of points of damage or something. I don't know, man. My math is off right now, and I think that's a really, really cool gameplay perk for Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, and it's obvious that they're not trying to be like Bethesda with Skyrim or like The Witcher 2 and everything like that. They're really doing something original with the title. It looks kind of like, to me, with when I played the demo and everything, it kind of felt like a little bit like Shadow of the Colossus, a little bit.
They're
but
making
with a
movie
team.
about that.
What?
They're making a Shadow of the Colossus movie.
That's cool. I'm all for it.
I'm not.
As long as, like, Mr. Paul W.S. Anderson's not doing it.
And apparently they're making a Tetris movie too.
What?
I guess just 2 hours of blocks falling. I don't know. So we got Ghost Recon Future Soldier, Dragon's Dogma, and just so we want to show Nintendo a little bit of love, Mario Tennis Open. Getting horrible reviews, basically more shovelware for Nintendo to try to make a name for themselves or money off of their names for Mario. It's got all the Mario characters in it.
Mario Baseball, tennis. Mario Tennis, Mario Golf.
In my opinion,
Mario.
Mario.
That's a pass.
Yeah, that's a
So
pass.
for me, I'm passing on Future Soldier, Ghost Recon. I'm definitely going to be playing Dragon's Dogma, and I'm passing on Mario Tennis Open.
I'll probably grab Future Soldier and bring it here so that we can all see it.
I'll probably grab Future Soldier just because I want to see, if they are groundbreaking and innovative the way they say they are.
Well, I'll play your copies and
we'll
determine my opinions then.
We'll give our personal ideas and maybe write a review and talk about it next week.
Write a review? What are you, crazy? You guys don't write.
Said maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Alright, so don't forget about Carpe Noctem Remix.
June 15th.
June 15th at Carolina Mall.
Extreme Play, Concord, North Carolina. You can get information on the site, winlossgaming.com, Facebook, Facebook.com/winlossgaming.
Yep.
Of course, our events page, Carpe Noctem Remix.
And if anybody has a Tumblr, we're going to be creating a Tumblr here soon as well to go along with that.
I think we're going to be tweeting. We're going to be creating a Twitter as well.
Oh, yeah, we should definitely do that.
I'm going to leave that one up to Shadow Train or you guys. I don't know.
Yeah,
we need a Twitter.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter now, of course, too. So
I want to do a Twitter.
I just got a Twitter, so.
Twitter.
I'm tweeting.
Twitter.
Okay.
Twitter. What are you playing?
What am I playing?
What are you playing?
Killer Instinct.
Yeah. Throwback.
I'm still on Fear 3. That game is... That shit... I mean, sorry. That game has got me right now. I played the first one on PC, second one on PS3, and then now the third one on PS3. I just really love the story. I think it was really great. The way the WB implemented the story and all that stuff on this one. Like I've been saying for the last podcast, or in the last two podcasts, I think I've said this.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And I still haven't finished it. It's been between Fear 3 and I've been playing online with Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
And Tekken 6.
And Tekken 6. So, really, that's all I'm doing right now.
Well, I am about to finish up Witcher 2 finally. I know, I've been playing it for a while, but I've been trying to draw it out. Like, I didn't want to finish it so fast. So I would play it for a short span, go through, do a few missions, and then I'd switch back to, like, Bastion, Hydrophobia, or something like that. I'm about to finish that up. I'm going to pick up Dragon's Dogma so I can play that. That'll be my next I'm playing. And, of course, my retro titles, Final Fantasy and all those new titles that I just picked up and the ones that I'm going to be picking up here this week. I'm going to be playing those. So...
of course, because I forgot, I'm also playing, WE12 a little bit more.
I've been seeing you online with that.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. What I found is a really bad game-breaking glitch that happens in the hero story mode as far as the Road to WrestleMania for the Jacob Cass character that you get stuck with as far as to make. Whatever you do, people out there that are playing WE12 and they're playing the hero story for the first time or anything like that, do not change Jacob Cass's moveset until after Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Just a warning, because then it freezes up and it will not go without you setting it back to default. So,
yeah, well that sucks.
I don't like the game, so that does not really...
That doesn't help your judgment on it at all.
We had fun playing it last week.
Yeah, I loved it.
I know, you guys had fun playing this game. I didn't.
Yeah, they were playing Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
In closing, Dude's VD, you left your Arkham Asylum here in the office, so if you're looking forward or panicking, it's sitting here on the shelf. You left it here from last week, so don't worry, it's still there, same place.
I'm actually going to take it, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
Fish is going to take it, so you can find it at my house, and you can see how badass I look in my bat outfit.
Okay, cool. Well,
I
guess in the immortal words of Vicious, fuck it, we're done.
All right.
Later, guys.